All right.
Hi, welcome to Counselors in the Car, Getting Coffee.
Getting coffee. So, iced coffee season started today for Gordon Gooding. I'm Gordon Gooding, licensed clinical social worker
I'm
here in
Margaret
Long
Lorenz.
Island.
Sorry?
As I totally interrupt you.
I'm Margaret Lorenz, also a licensed clinical social worker. I'm working on Long Island and also working online. Yes, teletherapy. We're here every Monday to talk about issues regarding therapy and
a little bit of coffee.
So today we wanted to talk about codependency.
Only if you want to.
Yeah. What do you
get
want
that?
to do? I
You
got
get the
it.
joke?
I got it.
You get the joke? That too?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Codependency. How would we describe codependency?
an intense emotional reliance on your partner.
I'm as happy as my partner is. My own happiness is dependent on other people's.
Yes. That
Right?
yes.
That's how I often look at it.
I put all my partner's actions create my happiness or unhappiness.
Yeah. Or it doesn't always have to be partners too. It could be,
Yes.
a work companion. It could be
Friend.
a friend. If the friend's upset with you, like it could be any of those things where maybe you're not, you're putting all your worth and joy into how someone else feels about you.
Yes. No, I think that's a very good point. That's a very good point. So it could happen in any type of relationship.
Codependency is very funny though, because it's like, it's not like this all or nothing. Because of course I care about
Yes.
what people think, or I don't want to upset people who mean something to me, whether it's my wife or whether it's a friend like you or someone I work with. So it's like, it's not being like I don't give a crap,
Right.
but it's also too much to be like, well, I can't say no to this obligation with you because I'm afraid of upsetting you.
Right. Or
Even though it's going to cost me too much money, or I don't have the time to do it, or take, it's
Right.
not fair to me in some way.
or if you're upset or having a hard day, that's not going to, I feel bad for you and I could offer support, but then it's not going to disrupt my day to a tremendous degree.
I've seen that a lot, where people who are struggling with codependency will go home upset because you had a rough day, and someone keep calling,
Yeah.
If you had a rough day and I went home and kept talking to my wife, Margaret had such a rough day, and I feel like that's very codependent behavior, and that's when I let your struggles take away from my own joy.
Right. And it's not healthy for
anybody. Yeah.
Because you're both getting entrenched in something that's
Yes.
not positive, let's say.
It's like, and I always say, in every relationship, whether it's a couple or a friendship, you have to have two individuals, and they come together. To be just totally enmeshed all the time, whether it's romantic, friendship, work, or anything like that.
Yeah.
It gets very messy.
Yeah, and I think that's a very good point, because I think today, maybe more than ever, people are encouraged to find one person that is their everything. Their best friend, their partner, their sexual partner.
They gotta like the same music. They gotta like the same hobbies. They gotta and that's not realistic.
No, and because you do need friends, you need other people in your life, other voices to feel more balanced out and fulfilled. And that's also a sign of codependency. If I always cancel with my friends to hang out with someone else, or I try and just hang out with my best friend and I don't see my family or I don't see my other friends, that's a problem.
Yeah. One of the things I've seen a lot too is when the people become fully invested in that one person, like you said, like if you're in a boyfriend or girlfriend or a relationship, and they're everything. They're everybody I want to hang out with and do all the time. I love my wife. We love hanging out together. We do a lot of things together, but she also has a course she belongs to, and she has her friends in there, and I have my work friends, and I have other friends, and to have that, it's balanced, because if all her happiness was dependent on spending time with me, or all my happiness is dependent on being with her, we're setting each other up for disappointment and hurt.
Yes.
Really.
And Esther Perel. The
you don't know Esther Perel?
Yes.
Google Esther Perel, who also has a great podcast. Who's not sponsoring this episode at all.
No, but she's
another
great.
Opportunity though.
Yeah.
Just saying.
We would love
Esther?
that.
Sorry, Esther Perel.
Esther Perel says that to invite in excitement and eroticism into your relationship, you do need to have outside friendships, outside interests, because that's what brings in novelty, or that's where
Something
your partner
fresh,
can see something.
Yes.
Yeah,
Fresh air, fresh topics to talk about, right?
right. Because sameness breeds familiarity, which can make the relationship feel very stable. But if you want to keep a more erotic connection between the two of you, you need to have freshness, novelty. You have to be evolving and changing.
And I'm going to take it a step further, I think, because yes, the eroticism is there, but also just in terms of intimacy, without the eroticism, like as a friendship, to really feel connected with somebody, you're discussing other things, you're discussing work, because of friendship, travel plan, like
yes,
it's not just what are we doing all the time, every day, all the time, because I think the same applies to friendships and relationships as it does to bringing new energy into a romantic relationship.
yes,
If that makes sense.
so something to think about.
Yeah. What are some of the traps I think you've seen working with clients? Because I have a few I think that kind of keep coming up, and they're people common things I think we all trip over.
Yeah. I think that the world or movies or something makes us feel like to be codependent is the ideal.
There's a lot of that now.
Yeah, there really is. That idea that it's just gonna be the two of us against the world, where you get your whole sense of fulfillment from the relationship. I think that's almost celebrated, and it's not healthy.
Well, I think devices and technology has made it so much worse, right? I mean, back when my wife and I were dating, believe it or not, you wouldn't talk to each other all day.
Yes. Yeah. You'd have to go home and check the
see you
answering
tonight.
machine.
Go home to see the answering machine, or call them when you get it. But now there's text throughout the day, and
Right.
there's
no busy signals.
Yes.
We had a time where you'd call and they'd already be on the phone, and you'd get a busy signal.
For hours.
And you'd have to call back.
And you were on a leash in the kitchen with your parents, listening to you talk to your girlfriend.
Yes. And if someone was mad at you, they could take the phone off the hook and refuse to engage with you. And there was no sending repeated texts over and over.
Yeah. But it taught you, I mean, I'm not going to do the old guy thing, it was better back then, but it did teach you to deal with not having it, but we're so used to having that constant contact now.
Yeah.
That I think codependency is such an easier way to fall into. I've seen a lot of the couples and families and individuals I work for where they sometimes even get upset. It's like, well, it's 4 o'clock and I haven't heard from him or her all day.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, aren't they an attorney working in a law firm, or a teacher who's in school till 3? Like, there's good reasons.
Right.
They're taking care of themselves, doing their job, that they wouldn't necessarily call you.
Right.
Or text you for all day. Like, that's not, and that's the trap I see with a lot of people. It's like,
and that desire to feel connected and to feel reassured about the relationship, and looking for outside validation, whether it's a good morning text or someone texting you back within 15 minutes.
Or something, or sometimes it's just, listen, and I'm not saying I'm not one who likes to, I love texting my wife during the day, tell her a little, something interesting, or she'll tell me something interesting, but sometimes we don't text, but to always need that person to validate that it's been a rough day, and not be able to just be with yourself a little bit. It sets relationships up on a bad foot.
Right. And I think that all goes back to, you need to have your own outside life.
Yes. 2 individuals coming together to make a couple. It's not a couple that's just totally enmeshed all the time.
Yeah.
So, to have other people you're talking to and connecting with. But it's really funny as we're talking about this. The texting thing is like, I find that, I've seen so many, especially younger couples, who fight over that.
Yeah, texting, and I call it now a text disparity, where I want to get a text every 2 hours, and my partner, he thinks that they think a text a day is okay. You know, there's a text disparity. I have some type of need, but maybe I have to examine that. You know?
But I also think the other thing, yes, and we talked about this on our previous episode on couples, was, you know, the text is so dangerous because in terms of how we communicate.
Yes.
You know, how is your day? Fine.
Right.
Well, I don't know about how your brain works, but my brain goes, fine. It could be either it's fine, it could be either things are not fine and I'm really pissed at you, or things could be, it could be any of the number of things. But my brain loves to go to negativity.
Yeah. And fine, period? Fine with a period at the end?
I didn't know, like, that's worse.
That's a very bad thing.
Yes.
Yes.
My kids told me about that. What's with the period, Dad? I'm like, I don't know. I finished. I just said here with a period. No. Like, why are you yelling at me? I didn't know that's
I get that too. No, you can't. I don't use periods anymore. Or if I do, it's like, ha ha, LOL, ha ha. So let the other person feel reassured.
But again, that's the interpretation.
Yes.
And sometimes we, especially if we're working on codependency, or we're prone to codependency tendencies of maybe being overly invested in something, you know, being aware that sometimes texting is not good for that. It can just make it worse.
Yeah, I agree.
Right? Because it leaves so much. It's, you know, texting's so cold. It leaves no empathy of, you know.
There's a little room for nuance.
Exactly.
You know, people are reading into punctuation.
Exactly.
More information.
So one of the other things I see too is with codependency, I don't know if you've seen it with the codependency, is this comparison game.
Uh-huh.
Of, well, you know, Margaret and your partner, you do this. So
yes.
me and my wife should be doing this, but we don't do that. So what does that mean? Like,
yeah.
I don't know, I guess maybe that's codependency. It's a little bit of comparison. It's a little bit of both, but it's still like such a dangerous
No, that is
trap to fall into, right?
Yes, because that comparison then defines the relationship and causes friction in the couple.